This is the Healthy Business Podcast, the show for ambitious business owners who want to grow and scale in a healthy way. I'm Sarah Cook, and I'll be sharing with you tips, inspiration, and proven methods from leading business experts, entrepreneurs, and health and wellness professionals to help you grow your business with more income and having more impact, but in a way that works for you. Because when you have clarity and strategy, you can achieve the results you want. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Healthy Business Podcast. This is Sarah Cook, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can jump off the roller coaster of running your business, how we can move away from the feast or famine cycle, how we can have consistency, how we can have sustainability. Now, those two words might seem quite boring when we're running our own business, when we see all the fun and the kind of the glitz and the glamour on some people's social media. But the reality is, if you want to scale your business, you need that consistency. You need to have that stability within your business. Going from hustle mode to highs and lows and peaks and troughs, or feast and famine, however we want to describe it, feels exhausting. And that's not a place that we want to be, especially when I know that you guys have got big visions, you've got goals. We don't want to be a place of struggle. We don't want to be in a place of uncertainty. We want to have that sustainability. That's what gives us that safety and the security, especially when change occurs. And change is the one thing that's constant. So we want to build that business in a way that feels good for you and aligned, but also that gives you that safety net, that security. It's one of, Maslow's hierarchy of needs that, we learned years and years ago. And it's important, it is a basic human need for us to feel safe and secure. And when we're running our own business, it can feel hard to be in that space. So we want to move you into that place of safety and security. And I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways that you can jump off that feast and famine and really start having sustainability in your business. So if you're not sure what you're doing wrong, or you think you're going to figure it out soon, if we don't, then our business is not going to be sustainable. And we don't want to be in a place where your business could fail. Even in that reality of thinking about it failing, we don't want to be in that space. We want to give you that confidence to move forward. So when we're running our own business, we obviously have lots of hats that we have to wear. And as we grow our business, there might be different things that we need to become aware of. But if we're in this constant peaks and troughs of our energy, of our actions, we've got a scattergun approach to things, then it feels hard. And we get to a position where we know we need to outsource some things, but we're not in a position to, because we're just so busy running from one thing to the next thing, let alone expanding our services, let alone, serving more clients or bringing in more sales. So how do we break this feast or famine? How do we get to that place of safety and sustainability? So there's 3 things that I want you to look at and to really consider when we are doing everyday business. Okay. So you might want to grab a piece of paper with this, or you might want to come back to it and start using these prompts maybe as journaling ideas, and just really thinking about how you are running your business every single day that allows you to grow and scale, because that's what you want. So the first thing I want you to think about is, are you actually busy, or are you actually being intentional? So quite often one of the biggest things that I hear from people is that they're just so busy. They don't have time to do X, Y, and Z. They don't have time to do something else. Now, there's 2 things that you can kind of look at with this. The first one is an affirmation, and really thinking about whether time is the problem, and actually, reframing that and giving a positive affirmation. So it could be something like, I have enough time to focus on the things that are important to me. It could be something like, I use my time and I prioritize it in the ways that are going to grow my business and help me scale. Now, if we're still coming up with the actual reality of being busy and focusing on lots of things, I want you to make a list of absolutely everything that you are working on in your business. Now, there's a brilliant task that I set within my book, Healthy You, Wealthy Business, which you can access from my website, sarahcookcoaching.com/book, or head to Amazon. Now, in that exercise, it's called a task time analysis, and it is a brilliant way for you to identify not just what you're working on, but actually your enjoyment levels, as well as the impact to your business. Because I don't want you to be doing things that just keep you busy. I want you to be doing things that are intentionally having a positive impact on your business and to you, right? Because you are your biggest asset. So if you're doing things that are just keeping you busy, or you're doing them for the sake of doing them, I want you to consider whether they actually need to happen, whether they need to happen right now, or whether you could potentially outsource it to somebody else. So we want to look at what is working for you. And if it's not working for you, then we want to put some changes in place. So the second thing I want you to think about is your sustainable income. Now, this is really important when we are trying to scale a business. We want to make sure that we're not having these peaks and troughs. It's all well and good having money in and, money going out to pay for bills, but I want you to have that sustainable money coming in, a regular amount coming in, so that you can pay yourself with certainty, that you can pay your bills with certainty, you can invest in the things that you want to help you grow your scale, your business. So this isn't about money coming in so that it can go out again. This is about money coming in so that you can sustain your growth and you can invest in the things that are actually going to make a difference, as well as increasing your personal salary. So really, really considering what you're doing within your business, how your money is coming in. And it might be that you are doing, big launches and you're relying on that. Now, that feels uncomfortable for many people because there is an uncertainty level around it. You might want to start thinking about your business model of, how you can create that consistent income. Instead of getting people to maybe pay up front, you want them to pay an installment so you know what's coming in each month. Or you might want to extend your programs. So instead of it being, a 1-month program, you might want to look at 3 months or a 3 months to 6 months or 12 months, so that you're having that consistency. And then you can start building that. Then you can start creating that scalability. I don't want you to be in hustle mode all the time. If we have short, sharp sales injections and cash injections, or we've got 2 short programs, then you start moving into hustle mode, because you start wondering and even subconsciously start thinking about where that next sale needs to come from. That keeps us in a state of hustle, that keeps us in a state of uncertainty, and it keeps us to a certain extent in a place of scarcity, where we don't know where that money's coming from or when it's coming in. And that's not a place of safety or security or even sustainability. So really considering your business model. Now, I ran a workshop earlier this week, which was all about scaling to a sustainable 6 figures. And if you want to get a copy of that recording, then head across again to my website, sarahcookcoaching.com, and you will find it on /healthy business. So it's all in there. You can download it, have instant access, and rewatch that recording. The feedback on it was amazing. And people were saying, this is so simple. Like when you break it down and realize how much you need to make on a monthly basis to hit that 6 figures. One of the ladies was just like, Sarah, you're a genius. Like, how do you break this down and make it feel so simple? And the reality, it is simple, right? We want to have that business that feels ease. We want to have that feeling of ease, that joy, that safety, that sustainability. Because every time we move back into scarcity, every time we move back into hustle mode, that's when things start feeling uncomfortable. We start worrying about things. We start, even kind of judging ourselves as well. We move into imposter syndrome rather than confidence. So it has such a big impact on how you're running your business, but also that sustainability perspective. And we want to move away from that feast or famine. And then the third thing I really want you to consider is your consistency. And this is kind of linked to sustainability, because when we're in hustle mode, we tend to go into a scattergun approach. We start going into testing all sorts of different things and not sticking with one thing. So we don't actually know what works. So consistency isn't necessarily constancy. And I've used that phrase before, my made up word of constancy, but it fits perfectly with this phrase, consistency versus constancy. I want you to be in a space of consistency. I don't want you to be in scattergun approach. And this comes throughout every day. So thinking about how you run your day. Are you moving from one task to another? Are you flitting between every notification that comes in? Or are you really getting intentional with your time? Are you focusing on something? Are you being consistent with one activity? It takes 23 minutes for our brains to flip from one thing to the next. So if you've got your notifications turned on, even if you don't process that notification, your brain is still processing that subconsciously. So you're not actually able to focus and be consistent in your task that you've set out to do. Similarly with your actions, similarly with your marketing, are you being consistent? Because if you're not, your clients, your audience, your customers, they're not going to get that consistent message from you. And that's really what we want to look at. Give yourself that time, create that time in your diary. It goes back to what we were talking about right at the beginning with my first point around being busy versus being intentional. Don't dart from one thing to the other. We want to be consistent. And that means we have to have a little bit of patience with ourselves. We've got to give things time to start working. Because if we have half a strategy and don't finish it, Or if we don't believe in that strategy, then we're not ever going to get the results that we want to. So we want to break the cycle. We don't want to be in that feast or famine. We want to move to that space of safety, that sustainability. Now, I remember first starting my business and really thinking that I needed to work 9 to 5 because that's how I'd been conditioned from a corporate perspective. And it wasn't serving me. I was finding that I was just filling my time and being busy, rather than actually being intentional with my time. I wanted to start building a sustainable income, not have the kind of cash injections and then nothing. And that roller coaster just meant I was in a constant state of anxiety and uncertainty. And it wasn't until I started really focusing down on this and then elevating that and really focusing on increasing my income every month, every quarter, that you have a consistent, sustainable growth rather than this peak and trough as well. So you can break the cycle. I've done it and I know you can too. So hopefully those 3 ideas have given you some ways that you can really, really focus, get intentional on your business so that you jump off that feast and famine, you jump off that roller coaster and create what that basic absolute need is, not just for yourself, but for your business to grow and scale. So with a real bit of direction, your strategy can skyrocket your sales, your business, and your success. So let me know what's resonated for you. I would love some feedback on this. Feel free to drop me a message on Instagram, Sarah Cook Coaching. I would love to hear which one of these 3 areas you are going to focus on. Let's get accountable. Let's focus on one of those 3 things, whether it's about focusing on being busy versus intentional, whether it's about focusing on that sustainable income every month or every quarter. And the third one is really about being consistent rather than a scattergun approach. So let me know your thoughts, drop me a message and hold yourself accountable because it is the only way you're going to jump off that roller coaster and the feast and famine cycle. And I want you to move to a place of sustainability, success, so that you can enjoy it. So ladies, hopefully that has been a useful bite-sized podcast for you today. I will see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for listening to the Healthy Business Podcast. To get your free checklist with 1-minute hacks to accelerate your business and find out more about our community, head to my website, sarahcookmarketing.com/healthy business.